This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so good morning everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the DB migration. So before going to that, at the time of installing this application, we selected everything as default. So what is default database for this one? If we come here under the system, you can see what is our database we are using. Okay, so I'm just opening it up now. System info. Under the system info, we will be getting to know we are using the default database. The default database for JIRA is H2. H2 database is the default evolution database wherein we are using it for the JIRA application when we are installing it without any third party databases. But when it comes to real time, in real time, so you have the JIRA application like the same way you have the database as well. So what are the actual databases which is available in market in order to work with JIRA application or Atlassian products? Let's go ahead and see that one as well. Okay. So I'm just opening this Confluence page, connecting JIRA application to a database. So I'm just trying to connect my JIRA application to a database. What are the databases? The databases which are available in market. So you can see here connecting JIRA application to Azure SQL, which means like if you are using the Azure, you can go with the Azure SQL. If you are using any standalone data centers, you can go with Postgres SQL or MySQL or Oracle or SQL Server or any one of the following databases. Which database you wanted to connect means in real time, in market, real time market, we have these many number of options. So based upon your company performance or based upon your company standards, based upon your company's information, you can choose any one of the following. You in the sense like the company will choose any one of the following. So today what we are going to do is we are using Postgres. So we are going to connect our default database to Postgres SQL database. How to connect from our default database to Postgres SQL database? We will go we will go to discuss each and every step into it. And in real time also, you will be doing with the real time scenarios under the SQL databases. Any one of the following SQL database. So we are not going to use any default evaluation databases in real time. Okay, now I'm just still it is taking time to open up the system information. Once the system info is opened, I can show you what database we are using. After that, what are the prerequisites we have to do, and I will show you each and everything. And also, if in case we wanted to see in the backend what is the database that we are using, I can go to this PC, see program files, Atlassian, application data, JIRA. This is the database. There is a folder called database. You see here, the database file name is h2db. So this is the database configuration file. The name of the file is h2db. So this is the file we are using, and this is the database that we are using in order to work with JIRA. So what this thing will do, when we are creating any issue, or when we are, system info is open. Whenever we are creating any issue, whenever we are doing any kind of customizations, so it should save in some place. That is nothing but this database called H2. Okay. Now what we are going to do is we are going to move all our data from H2 database to Postgres SQL. So in order to move, so which version we are using? JIRA application, we are using the latest version. So we will get to know that if you come down, Control F, version. I'm using 8.13.9 is my JIRA version. Let me make a note of all those things. DB migration, JIRA version 8.13.9. Okay, database is default, that is H2 we are using. Now for this version we are planning to move the database from H2 to Postgres SQL. Now we have to see what is the compatibility. So in Postgres SQL also, if I open up the Postgres SQL, what I will do, let me open up the Postgres SQL. Postgres database download. If I open up this link, let's see what it will open. Okay, so download Postgres SQL downloads. Under this one, I can see Linux, Mac, Windows, BDS, Solaris. So this is from Postgres SQL. This is an open source. So it's you can see Windows. We are going to the Windows. Under the Windows, if I click on this, download the installer. Now I can come here. Here I can see these many number of versions: version 14, version 13.4, 12.8, 11.13, 10.8. These are all the versions which is available in Postgres SQL to download. I can download any one of the following. If I am using Linux 64-bit, I can download any one of the following. This line. If I'm using 32, then this. Since I'm using the Windows 64, I can download any one of the following. If you are using Windows 32-bit, then you can go ahead and download. Now we have another challenge. Here also not supported, not supported, not supported, which means we cannot use these three. The one which is in not supported. And about the supported versions, these versions are supported by Postgres SQL. However, is this version compatible with JIRA or not? We have to check. Then again we need to go to the JIRA application, connect JIRA application to Postgres SQL. So I'm just clicking on this link. Okay, now here in this case, now if I come down, okay, Postgres SQL compatibility with JIRA. So what I will do, I will check the compatibility, which version is supported for our version. Supporting platforms, I can go this place, supported platforms. I can open up the supported platforms. So which version we are using? 8.13, I think so. If I open it up, 8.13.9. So I can select that version 8.13. Then if I supported platforms, then what are the supported platforms means? This page is for JIRA 8.13. If you are looking for a different version, select it at the top right. This is highlighted. So based upon that version we are using, we have to select the option. If we are selecting this 8.19 and then we downloaded all those things and we are installing it for 8.13 version, which is available in our system, then there is a challenges. So always make sure that when we are selecting, we are looking into the supported platforms. I will share you all these links as well. Then download PostgreSQL database link. Okay, now we have the links, we have the URLs. Now I'm coming back to the supported platform. Under the supported platform, I have selected 8.13. For 8.13, you can use with this platform. You can evaluate JIRA 8.13 on this platform, but you cannot run a production site on it. Further information, you can go with the Java. So Java, we can use Java 8 and Java 11. If it is OpenJDK, you can go with Java 8 and Java 11. It's the same. Again, come down, operating systems. You can install, these are the supported operating systems which are supporting for the database as well. Microsoft Windows, Linux, Mac OS. So we are using Microsoft Windows, we are good with it. Browsers. So since we are using the Chrome and Microsoft Edge, it's good. Databases. When it comes to database, first one is the PostgreSQL database. So what are the databases that are supporting means PostgreSQL 11, PostgreSQL 10, PostgreSQL 9.6. Okay. So I can select any one of the following three in order to integrate this database with my JIRA application. Okay, so this is the database. If we are going with the Postgres, so we can go with it. If we are going with the MySQL, you have to download any one of the following versions: MySQL 8.0 or MySQL 5.7. If you are using Oracle, you can go with 19c, 18c, 12c, or 2. Microsoft SQL, again, it's their own compatible. Okay, Amazon Azure also supporting Postgres, again Postgres 9.6 and then 11. So embedded database H2. H2 is the default database. Now what we are doing is, this is our default database. We are removing the configurations from here and we will connect our JIRA application to Postgres connections. So for that one, first we have to have Postgres database available in our mission. So what I will do, so since I'm using 8.13 version, for 8.13 version, PostgreSQL 11, 10 and 9.6. Any one is fine. So I can select any one of the following. I can download and I can install it. Once the installation is done, after that we will remove H2 database from JIRA and integrate PostgreSQL to our JIRA application. That part is very simple. However, in order to check the compatibilities, in order to check the settings, that is very important. Downloading and connecting with JIRA database is very easy. However, what is the right option to connect is the one of the biggest thing. So for that one, you have to go with the supported platforms and then you need to check the connecting a JIRA application to PostgreSQL. How are we going to connect? And also you can see this option called 8.13. So when we are connecting it, I have selected 8.19. So whatever the page information it is showing only for 8.19. So which is right? I have to go with this 8.13 since I'm using 8.13, and then I can select the following options. Okay, this is the right option. In the previous case, when I selected this option, connecting JIRA application to Postgres for version 8.19, again the configuration settings will get changed. So make sure guys, when we are opening this page, we have to make sure that we are selecting the right version. So again, supported platforms, connecting JIRA application. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I will download. So what are the options we have? For 8.13, I can go with the PostgreSQL. For PostgreSQL, we have either 11, 10 or 9.6. So I can select 10, PostgreSQL 10. Let me download it. So here I can see 10.11 for Windows 64-bit. I'm just downloading it. It's a single click, you can download. Okay, the file is getting downloaded. All right. Now, what I will do is I will install this application. Let me go to my control panel and see whether I have any options or any PostgreSQL or any databases available. I'm just opening up my control panel. I'll install a program. So in my mission, I have only the following applications which are installed: Google Chrome, GoToMeetings, JIRA software, Microsoft Edge, Drive, and Office Suite. Nothing else apart from this. So what I'm going to do is, I don't have any PostgreSQL installed. I'm going to install it now. Run as administrator. So when we are installing the PostgreSQL, the first thing is it will install Microsoft Visual C++. This is the prerequisite for SQL. In real time, this SQL will be having a dedicated, this SQL database has a dedicated mission. So since we are using in this one in the training purpose, we are doing both in one mission. But when it comes to real time, this PostgreSQL will be in a different place. Your Jira will be in a different place. At the time of connecting, all you need to do is you have to provide the right IP address. Okay. So again, I'm going back. So the installation directory is C program files, PostgreSQL and 10. Let me open up this drive. This PC, C program files. So in my program files, I don't have any PostgreSQL installed and I'm not seeing any Postgres. If I click on next, a folder will get created over there and it will install there. And you see, select the components. So by default, you can select all the components. Okay. But we are going to use pgadmin 4. It's the same folder, Postgres. Then over there, the directories. So it is not asking for username. Please provide a password for the database super user. And what is the super user? You see, super user is Postgres. So here, this is another case, guys. When we are installing the Postgres SQL database, at the time of installation only, the system will be created a super user. The name of the super user is Postgres. All we have to do is we just need to create a password for the super user. Okay. And after that, if you wanted to create multiple super users, you can check with the Postgres database admin. They will create it for you. But here by default, we have a one Postgres super user automatically available. I'm going to use the same password as password. Then next. So this is the default port number, guys. This is also very important. 5432 is the default port number. So I will install SQL. Then default super user is Postgres. Port number is 5432. They will ask in real time. If you are going for interview, if they're stressing any points, they may ask what is the default name of a Postgres or what is the port number. You can remember this is the Postgres is the default super user. Port number is 5432. And then select the local to be used by the new database cluster. If you have any clusters, then you can use it. Since we don't have any, I'm just selecting default. And then this is the complete summary, guys. Whatever the steps we have done, the same summary will be available here. So the installation directory, C program files, Postgres SQL, server installation directory also the same, data directory also the same, default database port number, and then super username, database super username is Postgres, and the rest is the same. Now I'm going to install it. Setup is now ready to begin installing the Postgres SQL on your computer. Let me install it now. So the file will get installed. This installation will take hardly 5 to 10 minutes, guys. In real time, if you are going with any default options, or if you are going with any customized options, then it may take more time. But by default, it will take minimum of 5 to 10 minutes. Okay. So today what we are going to do is we will open up the Postgres SQL once the installation is done. And today what we have learned so far is we just checked what is the default database that we are using for JIRA, and then how to connect with any other database, what are the prerequisites, what are the compatibility checkup, and how to download the right version. That's it. And then we are installing the database. Okay. So once the database installation is done, we'll see what will happen next. So it will take some time, guys. In the meantime, if you have any doubts or questions, you can post. Okay, now I can see that installation is completed. Completing the Postgres SQL setup wizard. Setup has finished installing Postgres SQL on your computer. Launch stack builder at exit. So it is asking, by default it got checked. What is this means? So stack builder is an add-ons. If you wanted to use any couple of add-ons for the Postgres SQL on port number 543T32, you can select and then you can launch it. In this case, these are all the add-ons, tools, utilities, database driver, database server. I'm not going to use it. This is not required. So this is required for the database admins who is working on Postgres SQL. Okay. Now my installation is done. How to open up my database is nothing but on your machine, just click on the search button. If you come down, you can, for Jira, we have a Jira folder like the same for Postgres SQL. You can see the same kind of folder. Here it is, Postgres. Under the Postgres SQL, I can see Stack Builder. Just now we closed it. If you click on it, it will open up the third-party add-on Stack Builder. Installation notes, documentation, release notes, and configuration. Now, PG4 admin, PG admin 4. So this is the file. This is the installation file we have to open in order to connect, in order to open up our Postgres SQL. Now we have successfully installed it and we are just opening it. And in simple way, in interviews, if you wanted to explain means, it's very simple. Download the database and connect the database to Jira. So where to download means on your specific location mission. How to connect means just change the configuration file, database configuration. So how to change the database configuration, that part we will discuss again. Okay, now I'm just trying to open up this one. It is asking me the password. So set master password. This is the master password, guys. Okay, please set a master password for PG admin. This will be used to secure and later unlock saved passwords or and other credentials. Okay, I'm using the same password as password. Okay, now I am entered into the Postgres SQL PG for admin. If I open up this server, this is my Postgres SQL 10. And if I click on it, again it is asking me to provide the password. This is the password which at the time of installation we created, we have to provide. So I'm just using that password as password. And here you can see that the database is Postgres, user is Postgres, PG admin 4, database configuration, the status is active. And if I click on these databases, I'm using the Postgres. Under that one also, there is schemas. If you see here, the schemas is there. What we are going to do is we will use this schema in order to connect to our database. Again, the schema is a common word. What is the use of the schema? Schema is used to connect or used to integrate or used to work with any specific uh, either issue types or screens or workflows or any kind of configurations. We have to use the schemas. So the same thing we are using here. Now our database is ready. We have installed it successfully and we know the location. This is our user. This is the application that we are using. This is installed in our local host. If we are doing the same work in some companies, there are like situations where the same person is dealing with Postgres SQL as well as the same person dealing with Jira. But 99% there will be a dedicated admin for database. Okay, here in this case, now we have the database ready and we have the Jira application ready. All we need to do is we need to remove H2 from Jira link PostgreSQL to JIRA. It's the simple step. Before that, again, we have a couple of prerequisites. What are the prerequisites? Is nothing but if I open up my current JIRA instance, I'm just opening up. This is my current JIRA instance. In this one, I have my database. In my database, like you can see here, this is the statistics of our database, which means there is some data which is already available in H2. That is nothing but I see that 36 comments are there, 24 custom fields are there, 10 priorities, 10 issue types, 79 issues, 8 priorities, 5 projects. These are all the information. This much of data is available in H2 database. So what I'm going to do, I can take a backup of all my database. How to take the backup is nothing but we already discussed about how to take the backup. So this is the database statistics of our JIRA application. Let me take a snapshot of it first. I'm just opening up my snipping tool. Okay, now I have the screenshot. This is the screenshot. I will minimize it. And what we are going to do is we have to take the backup. How to take the backup is nothing but you have an option called backup system, import and export. Next to it, you can see under the import and export, you can see the backup system. This is backup system. Okay, it is asking me to provide the password. Okay, under the administration page, if I come down here, import and export, if I click on it, backup JIRA. So if I click on this option, this will back up the XML data. That is nothing but all the data which is available in our JIRA. Okay, now what I will do is first I will go to this location and then I will see what are all the database backups available. See program files, Atlassian, application data, JIRA and export. So let's go to that location. This PC, see program files, Atlassian, application data, JIRA, exports. In exports, these are all the database backup files which is available. Okay, so this is the location. See program files, Atlassian, application data, JIRA and export. If I open up it in close search. Okay, so see program files, Atlassian, application data, JIRA and export. In this one, what I'm going to do is I will delete all. Okay, I have deleted everything. Now the folder is empty. And what I will do is I will take a backup. The name of the backup I'm going to do is H2 to Postgres DB. And then once I click on backup, the name of the file is h2 to postgresdb.zip file. It will get created and then the backup JIRA data is exported to this particular location, that is export. If I open up the same folder again, now h2 to postgresdb, it's a compressed zip file that has been linked, associated. What is the next step? We have the database available with us and then we have the backup of our data as well. I will put this in a secure place. So what I will do, I will copy it and for time being I will put it in the desktop. In real time we have to place it in the shared location or a secured location. So this is h2 to postgresdb configuration file. Done. What is the next step we have to do is we just need to connect the database. In order to connect the database, we have a file called dbconfig.xml file. Okay, so where exactly that file is nothing but search tools, flash and data, JIRA. So this is our dbconfig.xml file. If I open it up, okay, so this is dbconfig.xml file. Under this file, I can see h2 is the default one. H2 is the default database. It has been connected. Simply, we just need to change it from H2 to Postgres and then the associated information. However, this looks like something like a coding. We don't know any coding at all. So how will we do it? It's very easy. Nothing, no need to worry about it. Okay, this code will be provided by Atlassian only. All we have to do is copy it from the Atlassian and paste it here. That's it. And then according to our information, so since we have installed it in our local machine, so the local host would be the local host, the local machine, our IP address would be our local host, and then the port number and the default settings. So for now what we have discussed is, we got to know we have installed PostgreSQL and we took a backup of our Jira database. And once the backup of the database is ready, the next step is we just need to connect. How to connect? We just need to open up this file under the C program files, Atlassian application data, Jira. There is a file called dbconfig file. So this dbconfig file is the only file which will help to connect Jira to database. So far it is used to connect with H2. Now we are telling this DB configuration file to remove H2 and then connect Postgres. So the Postgres is also installed in our machine. So we have to provide the right information in the DB configuration file. How to provide this information we will discuss later. That is tomorrow. So far that's all for the day. So once again we will discuss everything tomorrow and then we will connect our database to Postgres SQL DB. Any questions so far, guys? Okay. That's all for the day, guys. So today what I will do is I will share all the data, all the downloads or all the links, and I will update the links to in the given drive. So you can go through the drive and then you can check whether are you sorry guys, yeah, so you can go ahead and check whether are you able to access all the links or not. So I hope I will remove all the links and then I will create the new links. It's a long term links, so you can use it for the maximum of 6 to 8 months. Okay, and then I will check with you later. Any questions so far? All right, that's all for the day, guys. Tomorrow we will continue the same class about how to connect our database H2 to PostgreSQL and then how to use PostgreSQL for our Jira application. That's all for the day, guys. Thank you very much.